As companies seek to leverage data to achieve efficiency and business gains, analytics provide the ability to glean insights on the areas of business that previously were a distant reality. Our next presentation by Mark, the VP of Worldwide Sales Data Analytics Altair, will talk about the leveraging data analytics in the no-coding environment. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Takuto. I am the VP of Data Analytics for Altair's Data Analytics Group. Today, I'd be happy to present to you how you can leverage your data analytics in a no-coding environment. Thought we would start off with a little bit of a vision of how our CEO currently sees the landscape. And it's really around transforming our customers' decision-making through simulation, data analytics, and high performance computing. For those of you that don't know about Altair, we are a publicly traded company. We have over 3,000 employees worldwide. We've been around for over 30 years. We have over 11,000 customers, and we have 86 offices around the world. So we truly are a global organization supporting our clients locally as much as possible. And there's over 150 software products within the Altair portfolio, including our partner software products. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of the Altair portfolio, Altair traditionally has been a design and simulation organization. And over the years, we've spent a lot of time around IoT, high performance computing. And of course, what we're focusing mostly around today is our data analytics product suite. The data analytics product suite has been around for 35 years, and it's come to Altair through acquisitions. And then there is an Altair Partner Alliance, the APA. This is our partnership with a number of our partners in the space that can leverage our unique licensing model to help you gain access to their software tools. Just a quick overview of some of the customers that we have worldwide. Again, this is just a snapshot. Really what I wanted to show you here is that we are in a number of different industries. So though many people will look at Altair and think, well, that's an engineering company, that's a design and simulation company, through our data analytics portfolio, we have many customers that are in the retail space, in the insurance space, and of course, in the financial services space. Many of the top Fortune 100 banks and the top financial service organizations are leveraging our data analytics products today. And that's why I'm here to talk to you a little bit about some of our solutions. So at a very high level, there's a number of different industries that we help our clients with. And specifically within financial services, we spent a lot of time in the banking vertical. A lot of our time has been spent in a couple of areas in banking, mostly around kind of credit risk and kind of insurance, understanding the whole life cycle, if you will, of a customer coming into a banking organization. So everything from origination to portfolio management and understanding the risk profiles there. And then, of course, helping with things like fraud or even areas like collections. We're closely tied to any organizations that leverage kind of that credit risk mentality. So a lot of work's done in insurance, as I mentioned before, doing work around fraud, MBFCs, capital markets, many credit unions. They've worked with us over the years. So we do have that suite of products that can help in that area. Again, I did mention some of the other industries, and this is just to highlight that our tools are accessible to multiple different industries. So it's not just tied to financial services. So if you are in kind of the telco space or consumer goods or retail, things like that, it's still definitely areas that we can definitely help you with. So just to highlight some quick trends that we've seen and we've recognized over the last little bit, specifically around data analytics. Big data is something that has been prevalent for a number of years. What I will say is big data and the landscape of big data is changing. You know, a lot more things are going more cloud native, but what is important is how are you accessing the data and leveraging that data within that big data environment, as opposed to sampling it and potentially duplicating that data in multiple different areas in your organization to analyze that data. So this is something that we've taken to heart, and we've looked at leveraging our tools within the big data environments and allowing our users to analyze that data without moving it around. Open systems and open algorithms. This is something that's definitely prevalent, and I actually think that this is something that academia has kind of pushed down onto us into the industry. Academia continues to teach R and Python for free as an open source method of doing analytics. And because of that open platform, we're getting an abundance of, you know, additional libraries, additional types of models and things like this that are available. And when these people are going into the workplace, they're trying to leverage what they've learned. And what we need to do as vendors and leaders in this space is figure out the best way to leverage that technology and that open source environment and ensure that our customers are getting the best value in their data analytics suite, as opposed to being locked down to proprietary tools or proprietary algorithms that may not change or be updated as frequently as needed. Continuous intelligence, really around kind of automation. This is something that, again, has been around for a couple of years. But what I would say is this is all about, you know, ensuring that the people that we have in place are doing the most with their time possible. And there's these rudimentary type operations that people get into a habit of doing. And it just becomes either a daily task, a weekly task, you know, even a monthly task where they gather data together, or they do data comparison, and they do these kinds of joins and things like that, where we can help you automate some of that process so that more time is spent analyzing the report, analyzing the data, analyzing the output, as opposed to bringing this all together. So this is something that we spent a lot of time on. And data model provenance tracking, really this is how is the model or the data performing over time, right? The one thing you want to understand is it's great if you build a predictive model and you have amazing performance in that predictive model, but there is a shift that happens once a model goes live or once you start leveraging that data output. And you constantly need to track and understand how that model is performing over time. And as soon as you see shifts in it, you have to be able to adapt, change, and, you know, perform those champion challenger type models that can quickly replace a current model in place and perform, you know, the best model possible. So what I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about is this concept of a data analytics, you know, no coding environment. And what I thought I would take us back to is an area that, you know, most of us have probably seen before, most of us have probably spent some time in. In the past, you know, we would open up our old, you know, computer systems, and we would get into it, and right away we'd find some kind of command screen, or we'd find like an MS-DOS, and we would have to go and identify, you know, where is the file directory that I'm looking for, where's the C drive, where's that folder that I may have saved, you know, that document that I'm looking for. And this was effective and it worked, and I don't think at that time anyone was complaining, because everyone was really excited that they had this technology within their house. But what happened is, over time, we've gone from this kind of black and white screen with all command line type text to a more visual environment that will really displays more information, allows you to easily get to the information that you need to get to, easily navigate through your file system and your file explorer, and allows you to really be able to explore into this without needing to learn some of the shortcuts that you would have had to do in an MS-DOS or in those command lines. This is super intuitive, and there's even, you know, the ribbon on the top with shortcuts in different areas that you can navigate through, like clicking on create a new folder. So this is kind of what some of the concepts that we thought of in terms of how do we continue to take data analytics and evolve that to the next level. Again, when we're talking about academia and academia teaching R and Python, again, great tools with a ton of abilities and a ton of different predictive modeling libraries that are out there. The challenges here is when you're trying to collaborate with your coworkers, it could be challenging because I may write code in a certain way, whereas someone else may have a different way of organizing or writing that code. So if I were to share my code with someone else, there's a significant amount of time that could be spent on trying to understand how that code was put together to begin with, as opposed to trying to understand what the actual model was in the code. So that goes to the point that it can be difficult to explain, but not only difficult to explain to a coworker, but this could also be difficult to explain to a higher up, to an executive level, right? So if you're within the C-suite in your organization and you want to find out what is the predictive model that we put in place to better understand our credit risk policies, it's going to be very difficult if someone pulls up, this R or Python script and tries to explain what this script is doing. So because of that, one of the things that Altair is focused on is how do we take a data analytics environment and really try and make it as code-free as possible. So this is just a quick screenshot of our Knowledge Studio tool. And this gives you an idea of how it's a very visual interface that will allow you to kind of drag and drop the components that you need to build out your data analytics workflow, if you will. So what you see here is the ability to do things like building predictive models, doing optimization, very complex types of operations, but done in a way that is visual and easy to navigate and easy to grow and build out without the need of using any code whatsoever. The other thing here, as I was just mentioning, if you're in the executive level, you're able to look at this and have someone walk you through the different steps that are taken. And because it's visual, it's easy to understand what the organization is doing. The other thing that I will highlight here is we have the ability and the understanding that it's nice to build out an analytics framework like this, but when you go about deploying that predictive model, sometimes you need to deploy in code. So what Altair has done is every single predictive model in our suite can automatically generate code. And the code it can generate can be anything from base SAS code, R, Python, SQL, PMML, XML. So a lot of different languages can automatically be generated from this visual interface to allow you to deploy this in a number of different areas in the business. Again, the nice thing about this is you don't need to know how to code. You don't need to be a coder. We've had business analysts that use this just to do basic data analysis and understanding of data, to the most advanced data scientists using these tools and getting into the advanced features in the tools to help them build their predictive models. So just one quick example of how we've helped organizations leveraging some of the things I just spoke about. One of the large banks that is headquartered in the US, we worked with them to transition 3,000 users that had a mix of Python and R scripting, along with actually coding in base SAS. What they found was there was an appetite in the business to move more towards Python, but the large amount of base SAS users didn't either have the ability to learn Python because they had been using base SAS for so long, or they didn't have the time to take courses to learn Python. So in using our solution, they were able to very quickly have a visual interface where they could build predictive models, where they can go about building logistic regression models, neural network models, deep learning models, even building scorecards within our solution. And then the ability to take that, automate some of those workflows so they don't have to do the same thing from scratch every month or every quarter. And then most importantly, take that and convert that to Python script. And what this actually helped with was not only the deploying of the model in Python as the organization wanted, but this also helped with the individuals to learn a little bit more about Python itself. And by using our technology, it was very easy for them to see, okay, I made a regression model here, I tested it against this data set, I've converted this over to Python script. Now I can quickly look at the Python script and start to get a sense of how Python works. So it does allow for some of that learning, but I think most importantly, it's a time savings element, right? It's the ability to ensure that your people that you have within your organization are making the most of their time with the tools that they have. They're not spending time trying to debug one line of code that for some reason isn't executing. All of our code generation is error-free, so it automatically will work and deploy in your organization. And again, the end of the day, this leads to a tremendous amount of cost savings for time, as I mentioned. But the other area where there's pretty significant savings is in the unique licensing model that Altair has. Altair's licensing model is such that it has a level of concurrency, so many users can use it, as opposed to being locked down to per user basis. And it has a flexibility to it where you can access all the tools in the data analytics portfolio. So you're not locked down to just this predictive analytics workflow that we talked about. You have the ability to leverage our data preparation tool to help you just do data prep and just automate some of that data prep. You have the ability to leverage our visualization tool. So you can build your own dashboards and visualize some of that data reports or even predictive models that you've built. So you're not locked down to one product. There's flexibility on the whole portfolio and really access to many team members across the organization. So that's all that I wanted to cover today. I really thank you for your time. If there are any questions, feel free to reach out or go to altair.com. Thank you.
Thank you for that amazing session. A questionnaire will be circulated after every session so that you can share your feedback on individual presentation and panel discussion. So do interact with us on social media using #ETBFSI Converge. See you on the other side.